perfection. And I actually learned to celebrate, like celebrate every time I do something wrong. It is so funny, and every time I do something right. Now, some of you have never celebrated before, so I want to make sure you know how to celebrate. Are you okay with celebrating? Yes? Okay, and do you know it involves music, right? Okay, so let me tell you why always things involve music. Music gets us out of our head. It's just a great way to get out of our head. Any transformation and change happens, ready for this, ladies, and you were with Jen this afternoon with an arch in our back. So when you're dancing, guess what? You can't dance like this. Well, men might dance like this, but you actually are moving, right? There's movement in what we do. So dancing is very transformational. So you can just put on music and feel better. And movement is the key. So what I'd like to do is have you stand up for a second and move. And I'd like you to think of a time when you did something that you were really proud of, something that you'd want to celebrate over, okay? Okay. How did you celebrate? Did you celebrate by calling someone? Did you celebrate by just, oh, that's nice, and you dismissed it? Or did you make some noise? Let me hear what it sounds like when you celebrate about something. What does it sound like for you? Some of you still don't even have a voice. I didn't have a voice. When I started this, I didn't have a voice because I didn't know how to celebrate. We were in debt. We were in debt over $500,000. We almost lost our home 12 years ago. After the stock market went, I told you I lost all the money. We had invested a lot into our home, and then the 9/11 happened. My husband loses his job, and we don't know how we're going to pay the mortgage, let alone child support and everything else. And we ended up refinancing our home again, and I had never been in debt in my life, ever. I never even paid a finance fee in my life for my first 40 years, if you can imagine. So I didn't even know what it was like not to have money. 5 years later, we actually were able to not only pay off our debt, we have no mortgage, we have no debt or anything else, and that was over 7 years ago. And I didn't know how to celebrate. 7 years ago, I didn't know how to celebrate. My husband comes in, and he's so excited, and he shows me, he goes, honey, we have no mortgage. And all I can say is, okay. And I turned around and just went about what I was doing. Because to me, I couldn't celebrate that because I was so angry because my rules said I should never have been in debt. I should never have been in this situation. That was totally unacceptable. It didn't go with anything I believed. And I missed the celebration. Here was the crime in missing the celebration. If you can't celebrate the wins, you'll never recognize them. And you won't have any. Because the universe keeps giving us more of what we want. I just thought about it and I said, that's not enough. I used to have, he's like, we have no debt. And I'm like, so what? I used to have 7 figures put away. I don't have that. I couldn't even accept the little victories to get us back to the big one. You keep putting down the stuff you had. You don't get more because God, I'm sorry, I believe in God, whatever you decide to call him. I think God listens to us. If he gives you more of what you want and more of what you ask for. And if we don't ask for it, we don't get it. But when we get it, you need to acknowledge it and celebrate it. So then he came back and he kept telling me, he goes, honey, aren't you excited? And then I realized, oh my God, and he actually came down, it was like months later, he says, honey, it totally hurts me that you never acknowledged that we got out of this. That we got out of this. People spent 30 years paying off a mortgage, we did it in 5. And I couldn't celebrate that because I had a rule that said it wasn't enough, I never should have been there. I say that because no matter where you are, if we don't learn to celebrate and practice gratitude every step of the way, you don't get more. Okay? So here's what I want you to do. Every time you wake up in the morning, I want you to do this. Ready? Yay! I'm serious. I am. Because every day above ground is a good day. Right? So every time you actually have the pleasure of speaking to a friend, and you can do yay, whatever you want. I like yay. I actually yay all the time. I don't know why. I think I never yayed as a kid, so I yay now, okay? So anytime you get the pleasure of being in the company of someone you love, let's do yay! Every time you acknowledge or even appreciate that you wake up in a free country. What other things can we be grateful for and acknowledge and celebrate?